Hi, everybody, and welcome to Ellii Connect, our Ask Us Anything session. I'm Rachel from Customer Support, and today we're with Tara, our VP of Publishing, and Ben, our CEO, to the side. If you have any questions, this is what we're here to do, to answer your questions. Anything about Ellii, and especially anything about content. So if you have questions about things you'd like to see, how to find content, how to use content for your class, today's a great day to ask those questions. So to ask these questions, just use the Q&A section on the right. It's a box with a question mark in the middle. Click that, type your question, and we'll pop it up on the screen and answer it. So we're here for about 30 minutes and really have no agenda. So if you think of questions throughout the session, just ask them. There's no waiting line, just let us know. So also please feel free to use the chat. Let us know where you're joining us from. I'm in Ontario today in Canada, and I see Tara's in Windsor. Thanks for sharing. And just one more thing to note, if you have any private questions or personal questions about your subscription, just email us or call us. We can deal with those privately. I've just put our contact us page on the screen. So that's all from me. Let's start with our first question. Let's see. Okay, so it says, "Hi, I'm inspired by Ellie's mission and was curious whether the platform has or plans to have a way for educators to share lesson plans or contribute ideas. I'd love to support the community in that way if possible. Thanks so much." Thanks for the question. We do. We take lots of content requests and feature requests, like features, whatever you'd like to see on the site, things that would make your life easier. You can click that contact us button, send us a message of the details you'd like to see, and we send that to our publishing team. And I can pass it on to Tara to talk a little bit more about how that works.
Yeah, so Ellii, formerly ESL Library, was primarily built by teacher requests. So the materials writers here are all teachers, and we have lots of our own ideas. We follow the trends in ELT, but we also take requests all the time. And actually, the majority of our content has been coming in, especially in the last few years after we built, the foundations. The majority comes in from teachers looking for content for their K-12 or adult ed programs or any of their specialty programs. The best way, like Rachel said, is just to send us an email. It will come right to the publishing team, any types of requests or even for revisions. But you can also contact us in some other ways too. So you can join our community on our blog. We write content posts there all the time, so you can get to know one of the writers or the editors here at Ellii. You can also, ask us questions or submit your requests on any of our social events, social, network. So we have lots of different ones that you can pick from, whatever is your favorite. You can find us there. And we also put out surveys at least once or twice a year. So please answer those. And we ask lots of questions in there. And we really love to receive your requests. So thank you.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make one, sorry, Rachel, I just wanted to make one note on the requests. I think just for clarity, we don't necessarily just get a request saying, could you please make me a lesson on this? And then we make it on demand in that way. It's more sort of based, Tara, right, on a frequency of requests coming in, and we see that, oh, this request is coming in quite a bit or enough that it makes sense, or it just sort of clicks and it tells us that, oh yeah, we're missing that, we should have that. But it's not an on-demand sort of request platform.
Yeah, that's a good point. And often it is a +1 system. So if we're getting lots of requests for the same thing, other times it's just a really great request and we agree, like, we need this. Why don't we have this? And so then we might get to it right away. And that happens very often. So yeah.
It's definitely a fun part to see what people request and what gets made. So thanks. Okay, next question. Okay. Is there a way to schedule a lesson to all my groups on Ellii, or it has to be one-on-one? So currently, no, you're not able to schedule a lesson for every single class you have at once. You can only schedule lessons per class. So once you can share my screen real quick for those who don't know, you can go into your class and schedule when you would like your students to see the lesson. So if you go into your class and you click a lesson, there's a scheduling tab at the top. And then here you can choose the date. So if you put the lesson in prepping and want to move it to teaching, you can choose whatever date you'd like and a time as well. Click save, and then on that date and at that time, the lesson will go from prepping to teaching. So currently you have to do this by class, but we are working on creating bulk actions in the future where you don't have to do it by class anymore. So soon, hopefully, you'll be able to schedule these lessons for all of the classes that you have. Okay, great. Thanks for asking. Let's see what is next. Okay. Can you give me some ideas on how to use the silent clips? Of course, I teach adult basic education students. Pass this one over to Tara.
Okay, great. And Rachel, maybe while I'm chatting, you could just put up our media gallery and show where to find silent clips while I describe what they are, and then we can go over some ideas for using them.
So I posted the link there and I'll share my screen as well.
Great. So silent clips are in our media gallery, which is full of videos. The majority of our videos are videos that we make in-house. However, we have a few things that we have added that have real humans in them. So this was a request that we were getting more and more from adult ed programs. And so we've started adding these silent clips. So yeah, we have two different areas where you can find them. One is called silent clips, and the other one is in the workplace category. So the workplace category is full of vocabulary that is just silent clips. And then the silent clips area is more, it's just lots of different categories of them. So all you'll do is you'll just play the clip, and it will just be a silent clip of some people doing something. There will be a vocabulary word that you can use to teach. You can scroll down just a little bit there. And sometimes there's an example sentence here. So the nursing assistant is gathering the patient's medical information. If you want to just maybe go over to the silent clips category, Rachel, we can just show some different examples that we have here. We actually got this started because of a request that came in for content related to body language. That's pretty hard to teach body language with a printable lesson. So we, brainstormed and thought of some ideas of how we could do it, because we think body language is a really important target to be teaching your learners. And so we started adding these silent clips for body language. And silent clips are a great way to start to start your classes. So you could even just use one to start your class. And how are you feeling today? And just find out how your students are feeling. You could put something up like this. You could even cover up the word in case you want students to guess what the word is before you show it to them. So in this case, this guy is doing the happy dance, celebrating. You could ask your students, have you ever seen anyone doing a happy dance? Or if they're parents, when do your kids do a happy dance? So lots of different ones. Disgusted. You could then ask your students to try doing this, the body language that they see. So if you've taught a few, maybe 3 words at a time, you could just ask your students to do one of them, and then they have to guess what each other are doing. There's so many different ideas that we have that we actually have a few blog posts on this topic. So if you want to ever look for teaching tips on a certain target, you can try looking in our blog. If you just search silent clips there, Rachel, up in the top. Okay, and then if you go to the blog posts here, you'll see that we have 2 posts all about it. Emily Bryson is a blogger you might be familiar with. She has all sorts of great teaching tips and ideas, and she often goes through our content, especially for the lower levels. She teaches ESL in the UK, and so she has lots of awesome ideas for using this set. So we'll let you go through that on your own, and I'm sure you have some ideas too. And if you do, this is a great place to be part of our community, because you can add your own ideas in the comments as well.
And can I just add one thing as well, Tara? Well, actually 2 things. Rachel, let's also show how we get there. So to get to silent clips, there's a few paths. One is you click the everything menu up at the top. Then we're going to click the media gallery there, and that will land you on flashcards and videos. You'll click over to videos, and then you'll scroll down, and like Tara said, either in Workplace or in Silent Clips. If you click into, let's say, Workplace, for example, and then at the top, you can, I think there'll be another subcategory there that's Silent Clips. Is there,
It's all
Tara?
the vocabulary ones.
Okay, so
Yeah.
can you
So
click the vocabulary?
pharmacy, phlebotomy, these ones typically
Sure.
are going with our courses on similar topics. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So, like, there's take an impression there, for example, which is kind of maybe a little bit gross, but in any event, you could play that without, oops. Okay, so here's analyze. If you wanted to elicit the vocabulary before they see it, you would want to put it to full size first. So if you see down there, you can go to full size, and then you could play the clip, and you could say, what is this doctor or medical person doing right now? And they might say they are analyzing it. So if you do want to elicit the words first to see if they know it, I would put it in full screen, so that they don't see that title. And Tara mentioned as well that you could cover it up. So you could also make your screen smaller, or scroll down a little bit so that the word analyze is not on there. So just you want to hide it or make it larger if you're
That's a
going to
great
elicit.
tip. And you can see on the sidebar that we have all the related ones there. So they're for just easy access for you if you want to teach another word at the same time.
Yeah, there was that picture of the woman going like this with her hand, and she was annoyed. And so that's an example of, you could, if you were hiding the title, you would say, like, how is she feeling right now? And people would have to try to come up with the word annoyed. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
And you can use this
okay.
for assessment as well. So if you're looking to do some sort of assessments after you've done the course, so this actually comes from a course that we have on dental technicians. You can use that as a type of an assessment.
Okay,
Thanks, Rachel.
great, really helpful. Okay, let's see, more questions. Let's see what's next. Can you explain how to add students? Yes, of course. So there are a few ways to invite students, and let me show you. So you can use the email, the QR code, class code, or you can make the accounts for them. So from your account, if you click everything at the top, click Classroom on the left-hand side, and then click the class you'd like to invite the students to. Once in your class, click the Students tab. So on your students page on the left-hand side, you'll see the options you can use to invite your students. You can invite them via the class code. You can have them scan this QR code with the camera app of their phone. Once they open that camera app, there's a link that appears. Have them click it, and it takes them to the ellii.com student site to sign up. Or you can tell them to go to ellii.com/students, say I'm new, and then type this class code in to sign up. You can also invite them via email. So here you type their first name and their last name and their email address and click send. They get an email to their inbox with a link. They can click that link and then follow the prompts to create their account and join the class. And then third option is to create the account for them. So if your student doesn't have an email, or they're just having a little bit of a harder time signing up, you can create their account with a username. Just put their first name and their last name, make them a username, and create a password for them. You can then share the username and password with them. Tell them to go to ellii.com/students, and I can show you what that looks like. So this is the students page. Once they get that information, they can click log in and then log in with that username and email or a password that you gave them. And if you have questions, if you need further help with this, you can send us an email or give us a call. We can help you out.
And just one more thing on that, Rachel, I just pasted you the link if you want to overwrite the silent clips link there. I pasted you a link in the chat, which links to our overview of all sorts of training videos. And I think the third or fourth one down repeats what Rachel just showed you. They're short videos that are 1 or 2 minutes. So if you missed anything there or wanted further clarification, there's the link, or you're about to put the link in there, I think, or if you could put that in, or should I just put that in the chat?
No, it's there now. So just click.
Yeah. Okay, so teacher training. And if you click that, it will jump you to a page with a bunch of videos, and halfway down, you'll see some stuff about adding students to a class if you missed anything.
Yeah.
Just a couple things. A couple of people have been putting questions in the chat. We don't always see those as much. So David and Diane, if you could take your questions and paste them into the Q&A. We will come back to the chat too anyways, but we can sort of organize better if they're in the Q&A. So the Q&A is on the far right on the sidebar. There's a menu there, and it's the second one under chat. It's a little question mark in a box. That way it gets added to a queue as well.
Okay. Perfect. Thanks. Okay, let's see. What's next? Can we teachers write something on the blog? Teachers can comment, but Tara, do you want to take this one over?
Yeah, commenting is actually a great way to just be part of our blog. We get comments every day on the blog, and the writer of the blog is always answering comments. We even have a section for students. So you might not be aware of that, but there's a for students category on the blog, and sometimes we write content for them, and then we really encourage students to practice their writing in a real world area. So yeah, students and teachers can write on the blog. We don't typically take any posts from teachers, but every once in a while we do have a guest post. So if there's something that you really thought was really important that we haven't covered, probably one of our writers will take the idea if it's something that's useful. And even questions, sometimes we take teachers' questions and then we'll put it on the blog just so that we know that other teachers will have the same question, grammar questions, lots of different types of questions. So definitely write in, and we can get your information on the blog in some sort of way usually. So
great. Okay, next question. Let's see. Okay, can notes and assignments be individualized when assigning a lesson to several one-on-one learners? Ben,
you want me to take it?
Yeah.
Not unless no, actually the answer is no. Currently, if you move a lesson into the teaching lane from the prepping lane, and maybe I'll just do that in real time here, one moment, just so we can all see it together.
Yeah.
Let me share my screen. Okay, I think you can see my screen now. If you go into your classes area and you click to a class, and just let me know, sorry, what is the name of the person who asked this question?
It's David.
David. Okay, so David, just let me know if I've misunderstood. You could put a question in the chat if I've misunderstood. But let's say you want to move this lesson over to your teaching lane, and there are several students in this class. If that's what you meant, but they each have they each sort of do things differently at their own time, and you meet with them at different times, they're all going to see the same note that you put in here. The way that you could do this if you wanted everybody to have individual notes is, in fact, to set up individual classes for each one-on-one student. So you would go back to your classes area and you would create a class that is the name of the student. Like I have a student named Keiko and another student named Mariko. And so I've set up a class just for her and another one just for Mariko. And when I move something into there and I put a note on there, obviously she's going to be the only one to see it because she's the only one in that class. But currently, if you have a class with multi-students in it, right now there's only a way to send a note to everybody who received that assignment. But it's a good idea. And I think that we're getting to more sort of notification systems this year, better ways and more personalized ways to communicate with your students. So I'll add that note as sort of a suggestion from you to be able to go in here and have a drop down of all your students and send a note to a specific person. Maybe we'll get to that. Let me know, David, if I've answered your question correctly or if I've misunderstood.
Okay, great suggestion. And Ben, why don't you leave your screen up with the lesson planner, because we have a good question about the lesson planner. So, hi, this is Dee from Massachusetts. Hello. Is there a lesson planner tool available? Yeah, exactly what we have on the screen right now.
Okay. So well, let me make sure that I also understand the question properly. One is that like we've got a lesson planner where it's like a board where you can plan out your events for the next, your set of lessons for the next week or the next month or the semester, etc. Or were you asking the question of, is there a way to sort of put in some information and it creates a lesson plan for you? I just want to make sure that that's not what the question is, because I know there are some sites where you can put in some prompts and say, I need a lesson on this, this, and this, and it will develop in real time a lesson for you from scratch. We don't have that if that's what you were looking for, a lesson developer. We have a lesson planner, which is this tool that we're looking at right here. And the way that it works is when you, let me just actually get rid of this lesson that should not be in there. The way that this works is when you find a lesson somewhere on Ellii, so I'm going to go over to lessons, and that was a conversation class that I'm in. We have this new lesson on discussion starter about passwords. And actually, that's a print only so far because it's new. Here's a new one on smartwatches. So it's a digital lesson and a print lesson. I want to add it to my class, to my lesson planner. I'll click add to class. And I'm going to put it in my conversation class. So I clicked the drop down. You may not have seen that list of drop downs there because it might not show up in the screen share, but I selected my class and then I put it into the prepping lane and I click save. And then when I go to that class, I've got this lesson planner here. This is my class. You can get to your classes from everything menu and then the classroom area and click on your class. And we've got 3 lanes: prepping, teaching, and taught. And so the idea of the prepping lane is you sort of plan your week ahead. So I want to teach mandatory voting next week, and the week after that, I want to do something on subscription economy. Maybe if you're teaching a grammar course, you're moving sort of grammar structures up and down into the order that makes sense. But this prepping lane is all about planning what you're going to teach next, right? So you move things up to the top as you want to. But maybe this one on smartwatches is the one I want to do next. Anything in the teaching lane is what your students can see right now. So when they log in, they'll have access to this lesson on their dashboard. And anything in the taught lane is showing you what you taught in the past. And it's a good way to know what you did in order to decide what to do next, right? Having that record of what you did in the past helps you decide what you should do in the future. So this is a conversation class, and we've done all these sort of conversational topics. I can see which ones I've done and what kind of makes sense to do next. If we were doing space tourism, maybe I want to do something on like a lesson plan about rocket ships or something next instead of garbage solutions. So this gives you an idea of what to do next. And then when you're ready and want to move, you want to teach a lesson, you just drag it into the teaching lane and your students will automatically receive it after that. And you can move the garbage solutions ones to taught. Everything in the taught lane, they can also access, but it's in an area called past lessons for them. And lastly, I'll just say, if you want to get really ahead in planning your lessons, you can also schedule things. So I want this brain rot lesson to be moved to my students on a specific day. I click on it, I click on scheduling, and then I can set a date that I want them to receive the lesson on. So I'll say on the 23rd of January, and I want it to move to the taught lane and to the past for them the following week on the 28th. So we'll do that, and I'll hit save. And now automatically, you'll see there's this little calendar. Automatically on Friday, it's going to move to the teaching lane. My students will see it. And then the following week, it will move to the taught lane. So that's the lesson plan. We can go into more details about that if there are more questions, but maybe we'll go on to the next question.
Okay, great. Thanks. So we have a content question. Do you guys plan on adding more phonics related lessons?
Yeah. Okay, so we get a lot of requests for phonics related content, especially adult literacy. Last year, we put a real big emphasis on this, and we opened a brand new section called First 5. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it. One of the reasons we started with this was that our original phonics section is really just a printable section, and it uses illustrations. A lot of teachers were asking us for real photos for their adult learners. So we went ahead and built this new section called First 5. It has 3 different types of lessons in it. Rachel, do you want to put it up on the screen?
Yeah.
Awesome.
I linked it now. Yeah.
Okay, great. So if if you want to just screen share, we can just show it quickly. So there's 3 different types of lessons. There's some that just focus on the letter recognition. So you'll see the category here, letters. So we have these lessons here. Just because it's a kind of a first 5 theme, we've done 5 at a time here. And these are really similar to our phonics lessons that you would have seen in our phonics section, but they are in color now. They're just a little bit more fresh and new, and they're available in print or digital, which is new. And yeah, so there's just lots of different tasks you can do here. You can see the printable versions here, and then the digital ones on the side. Awesome. Yeah. And then we have vocabulary ones that extend from these. So we've started some of the really common thematic vocabulary themes that you would use. So family, food, drinks. So if you want to open up one of these, we can just have a look at it. It's always just focusing on 5 words and then just 1 or 2 letters at a time. So this is what we've done to start. And we're kind of in the mode where we're waiting for more feedback to come in before we go too much further in this section. So if you have some ideas, Anna, for what you're looking for related to phonics, we're really looking forward to hearing more teachers asking us for, what they need now, what themes they're looking for, if there's certain letter blends or letters that they would like us to focus on. We'd love to hear from you. This is just more of a section that goes on from the vocabulary. So if you have a multi-level class, we recommend using these types of lessons with your just high beginner or low beginner lesson level learners on the same themes. So if you've taught jobs to your lower level pre-beginners, you can also do a lesson related to jobs. I don't think we've hit that one yet, but some of them are related here. So we're still working on this section. It's a work in progress. We'll be focusing on this throughout 2026. So if you have special requests for what you're looking for, or if you have feedback about what we've already done so far, that would be super helpful for us. We also have a section called phonics stories that go along with our pronunciation lessons. We get a lot of requests for more of those. So if there's any specific letter or sound that you're working on with your students and we haven't covered them yet, you can just send in your requests.
Can I just show how to get there? So if you go to just in terms of first 5 and phonics stories, for everybody that's watching, you can click on everything, and then you go to lessons. And then Tara, what is the subcategory at the top we should be looking for?
So adult literacy.
And then you'll see the first 5. And what about, sorry, it's part of the questions covering up for me some of this, but also just the phonics in general. What category is that in? Vocabulary and pronunciation?
Yeah.
So you'll see that first 5 is also there, but also you'll find the phonics stories
right
and the phonics. Yeah. Okay. Rachel, we have 2 more questions at the bottom under your or maybe 3 more. So let's try to get to those. I just wanted to mention that, originally it said that it was 30 minutes. We're staying longer, but anybody is welcome to hop off, but we'll keep going, making sure we get through these questions. And there are a few pre-populated questions at the top. So we're going to skip over those and get to the ones that are from some actual attendees here.
Okay, so next question. When I send the lesson via Google Classroom, do I need to put the lesson in the teaching section on Ellii as well, or no? Yes, you do. Yeah, put it in the teaching section and then post it to Google Classroom.
Yeah, because if something's not in the teaching lane, your students, when they log into Ellii, they won't get it. So really what's happening with Google Classroom is when you're linking it to Google Classroom, it's giving them that direct link to the assignment, but the assignment is only an active assignment when it's in the teaching lane. So you've got to make sure that it's in there.
Okay, next. How can I see what my learners are doing in Ellii Solo?
Do you know how to do that, Rachel, or do you want me to
show you? Yeah, I can go for this one.
Because there's a new link button, right, that shows you a view from the teacher side.
As always, everything at the top, and then Classroom on the left-hand side, and now there's a Ellii Solo tab. So you can scroll down and see the list of students you have using Ellii Solo. When you click them, you can see what they're working on. You can see the level they've gotten when they took the placement test. And then you can use the reports tool to see how much time they're spending. My students are not spending so much time on Ellii, but I'm sure yours are spending lots of time on Ellii Solo, and you'll see those results there. So that's just the reports tab on the left after clicking Ellii Solo.
Just a note too, like right now we've kept the visibility of what they're working on very minimal. It's just what when they last logged in to use the platform and what specifically they've been focused on, but it's not showing you their grades or which tasks within a lesson they've completed. That type of reporting is coming later in this new year, but for right now it's quite just very simple and basic information. They're working on this lesson. They finished this study pack. They finished this course. They started this course, etc. What day they did it on, and how much time was spent on task. And you can export that time on task report too from the reports.
Yes, you can. You can pick the dates of what you'd like to see, and then you can click apply, and it will create a CSV file for you if you have information about your students. But that CSV file will appear and then download to your device. And I think that is it. That is all. We've made it to 30 minutes and we've answered all of the questions. Yes, so thank you all so much for coming and for answering your questions.
There was one more question.
Oh
no, sorry.
Thank you.
Sorry?
The last question's a thank you.
Oh, I thought the one looking for more vowel combinations. Did we answer that one?
I was just
I see. Okay,
there,
yeah. I'm sorry, I misread that. Yeah.
Yeah, no worries. But yes, thank you, Anna, for coming. And if you need any more information, reach out. Please do. But yes, thank you all for coming and asking your questions. We hold these every 2 weeks as well as other webinars as well. So please check those out. I put our webinars page on the screen. So thanks again and have a good rest of your day, everybody. Bye.
Ellii.